Okay, great.
Hello again,
Hi,
Shakila.
Arish. How are you doing?
Hello everyone watching, wherever you're watching from. Harish Shah here.
I know. I think we have visitors from all over the world who's been following you. Apparently, I see a lot of people congratulating you and following you. Wow, that's amazing. So we're back. Welcome to episode 2. Thank you again for bringing your
Yay!
wise advices. So today we have chosen a topic of communication. Basically, on business leaders, we have now motivated our business leaders, and you did a fantastic job. Points you gave were like really amazing. Now we are now seeking for more, right? We're so hungry to hear you. So
I'm
we're
just
looking
hungry to talk.
forward. Yeah. So we're looking
I love the
forward
sound of my
to.
voice.
Okay, maybe something that I missed actually. So this time we are looking forward to hear from you little more things that people like me, entrepreneurs like me, can do after motivated. I am super duper motivated. Now, what should I be doing as the first step? Throw light.
First and foremost, I mean, once you've got your morale and motivation in place, number one, what you what you need to do. I'm sorry, my kids are having video conference calls with their cousins, so please ignore that in the background. Okay, so first
Enjoy
and
it.
foremost, when you have your motivation, your morale, your discipline, your focus right, this is all just recap from the last episode. The first thing you need to do is now your communication. Work on that. Ironically, this is something that we have a huge lack of time for in better circumstances or non-pandemic circumstances. Now that we are in this situation where we are disrupted, we are minimizing our movements, we are either in a lockdown situation or we are not able to go to work voluntarily, we don't want to go to work, whatever the reason, right? So there's a lot of activity that's been disrupted, that's cut. So now we have time for just that. The critical ingredient of business, of team building, about customer relationship, sales, everything, right? The critical ingredient, communication, you now have time for. Now, for communication, the first thing you need is content, right? What content should you be working on right now? What is your situation? The answer to that question, what is your situation, is the content that you primarily need to focus your life around. And that's your work as a founder, as a business owner. The first thing you need to do is, okay, what damage has been done so far? Let's be honest about it. There's a pandemic situation. That's why you're watching this video in the first place, because there's disruption, right? And we are trying to provide a solution for that. So first and foremost, what damage has already happened? 2, what damage is happening right now? 3, what further damage is going to happen? And number 4, even after this pandemic's over, consider the economic environment that's going to be, right? As a fallout from this. How will that affect your previous plans, the plans that you're working on, the products you're working on, how you envision your growth or your movements forward, your relationship with your clients for the rest of the year? Envision all that, how that has changed. Get it on paper, document, right? If not on physical paper, great, save the environment, kill less trees, on a Word document on a screen, but get that done, number 1, right? Number 2, what are the opportunities now? Have they shrunk? If so, how much? And but what remain, right? What opportunities remain? Or inadvertently have some new opportunities as a silver lining emerged out of this pandemic situation? Or do you foresee them emerging at the end of this pandemic, right? Where the world will need something which you are in the place to offer. Document that. Know your situation, know these things, right? And then whether it's your team members, now I move on to the element of teamwork, which we promised to talk about today as well. Make sure whether it's your team members, your investors, people who have given you loan, people to whom you owe money because you have taken goods from them or services from them and have not been able to make good payment for this point in time because of various reasons you're stuck. Customers, clients who have paid something but you have not been able to deliver, or uh, customers or clients who have not paid you but who are your prospects that you intended to work with that you can't work with right now, or they had to cancel orders, whatnot. Talk to those people one by one. Pick up your phone, do video calls, right, to minimize, um, the filtration of emotions, the intentions, the non-verbal cues. You don't want that to be filtered. So as best as you can, allow that to flow through video calls. Like, you're watching a video right now, me and Shakila having this conversation. Talk to them, starting with, this is my situation. Let's not compete. Let's have all cards open on the table. Let's do a win-win. You gain some, I gain some. If I lose something in this situation, so will you, right? And if you lose something, I will lose as well. So let's both have a win-win situation, everything open. Let's speak in a trustworthy environment and do that. Explain your situation, then communicate what needs to be done. That's what you need to do in this environment.
Awesome. So what I understand, Harish, is one has to prepare what to be communicated and utilize and also document it so that it remains there and it is clear when the communication happens, and has to get the entire team to also communicate in a very open and trustworthy manner, either it is internally or externally. That's what I understand with this small snippet that I could see. Now, can you just elaborate a little on? See, I believe in great networking, and I believe maybe this is the time that people can, like you rightly tell us, that everybody has got time in their hand now. They might not have anything else just now, right? They all have time in their hand. The one thing that people always ran after in so many years, right? So now is the time where I think they can make good networking, right? See, when you're in
Yes.
business, generally, when you're already in business, when it is an unusual day, people are networking, but it is not really networking with quality. But do you think this type of quality networking can be effective, which can add to their communicating and connecting period just now?
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, another irony there, right? That when it's business as usual, so to speak, supposedly, um, what happens is most people say, I'm doing networking, right? I'm reaching out for networking. I'm attending a conference or a seminar for networking purposes. I'm attending a networking session to network. But most of the time, most people are using these opportunities of networking, or these so-called supposed activities of networking, not exactly to network, but to sell something.
True.
In good times, they have networking wrong. Now, networking is far more important than just selling. And by trying to mix networking with selling, usually most people don't sell very well. The best salespersons do not mix networking and sales up. If it's a sales pitch or a sales effort or a sales endeavor, they just make it a sales activity. They make a cold call, they make an appointment for sales, they don't call it networking. And if it's a networking opportunity, they don't go to pitch that, right? That's what good salespeople, the top selling salespeople do. Now, for networking, this is the opportunity now to learn it properly and get it right, right? Now that you can't do sales, then network right, because networking is not selling. Besides, not too many people are interested in buying right now. Networking is not about getting customers and clients for sales. Networking is not about going out on a shopping spree. Networking is about building relationships, trust-based relationships. What does networking entail? Finding people who have similar or overlapping interests, right? Uh, with whom you can support each other, right? For mutual gains in business professionally. And you do that by getting to know the person further after finding that such a person exists with certain overlapping or similar interests. So get to know the person, have a conversation, build trust, build friendship, and then keep in touch. And then work on what opportunities may emerge or may be created, to create mutual value. That's what networking is for. And we are in very good times. You have things like LinkedIn this day and age. We have all sorts of online platforms, right, where you can seek out people with similar or overlapping interests, either in the same industry or in peripheral industries or upstream, downstream industries. Connect, right? Look for people who are your ex alma mater alumni, uh, old classmates you've lost touch with. Pick up the phone, trace people, track people down, see where they are, connect with them again. Follow up with people. Okay, how is everyone doing? What are you up to these days? How has this situation affected you? What's going to happen after the pandemic is over? See if we can do business together.
Do you think we can
Kinds of
call
things.
yeah. So do you think we can call this period of networking as educating also? Maybe because with quality of networking, one can be enlightened on various other industries. One can discover what somebody else is doing, which I'm not doing just now. And do you think
Yes,
this can be a great value addition as
of
quality
course.
time spent, right? You
Of course.
agree?
We learn, see, if you have a strategic asset of a network, a very powerful, dynamic, consciously, meticulously built network, right? That network is a source of lifelong education that no university can give you, right? The university is indispensable, right? Uh, a degree is not just a piece of paper, it is important, but whatever you've learned at university, when you build a good, powerful professional network after leaving university or even 10 years after you've left university, what you can learn from your network to build on what you've learned at university is priceless, right? It's not something that anything else can substitute, right? So it's very important a source of education as to what's going on in the world, what's happening next. As a professional futurist, I want to know what is going to happen in the future before anyone else does, before the press, media knows, right? Before universities know, even before governments know. I want to know as a futurist. I want to know first what the future of business, what the future of technology, and future of certain industries are. I want to know, have the answer to all those things firsthand before anyone else. How do you think I get there? My number one secret, my number one tool, and I'm giving this away for free. If you think you can try to exploit it to compete with me or dislodge me, go ahead, try. My number one secret is building a very vast, wide, far reaching, dynamic professional network with people who trust me and with people whom I can trust and people who'd be willing to have conversations with me and divulge and reveal information to me as long as it's not confidential or classified, or as long as there's nothing unethical there, nothing against the law, but you get the point. Learning from where and what is happening, right? Where things are happening, what's happening in different parts of the world is very important to keep ahead of time. And even if you're not a futurist like me, as a founder, as a business owner, to remain relevant, to not get disrupted, you need to know what's happening in the world. To capture opportunities, you need to know where opportunities are. And the only way to know these things, right, is to have a steady stream of information about such things reliably flowing into your life. The only way to do that, build a very good, strong, powerful network with good relationships. If you
Great.
have a lot of people linked to you on LinkedIn, but you don't have a relationship with them, you forget about it. You're just wasting your time, right?
Right.
You need to have
So
relationship with.
I was just discussing with one of the high net worth in the network that I have. Now, sometimes you want to specify on these things so that people know network is net worth and therefore I am net worthy. Right.
Yeah.
So we were
Yes.
just communicating, and even a very well earned, well positioned man like him also have a very simple thing to do during this time. I don't know if you have tried this. I've been doing this every now and then. So I go out there and I put a disclaimer. I tell, okay, people with whom I have not had any interaction but is in my list, I'm going to delete you off right now. And trust me, this is something he had to sit and do. Out of some 3,000 contracts, he had deleted like 1,200 or something. And he asked me, I said, no, I think that's the flush mechanism I keep doing every now and then in my contacts. And then they come back. I leave the disclaimer there. Maybe this is also the time that you clear the unnecessary clutter that you have and
Exactly.
reconnect with all those with whom you know you're either learning. Now, there are few things that people should know why they should network. I think so. I'm just, let me know if I'm interrupting with your flow of thoughts, right? So I think there
Right.
are few things that people should know is as a business leader, that there is a continuous education, or educating yourself is a continuous process. to be, like Harish said, you need to be relevant, and to be relevant you need to keep learning, you need to keep seeking information, you need to keep yourself abreast of the ongoings. It doesn't matter even if you're in the traditional old business of just making bricks, it's okay, but it is important to know what is your business exactly today. So in a given time that we are going through, I think to put quality in your network and to estimate what you get. Now, this is what people always ask one question. People always say, what's in it for me? So always remember that not everything is money, right? So with some people, I think with Harish, I think we tried to do something commercial, but nothing worked. But I've been learning so much from you. So I think this is networking. I think this
Yes,
education is networking, exchange of ideas is networking, bouncing your ideas to get information. A lot of people think market research is the best thing to go and set up business or to go and redo business. But I think first market research is research within your network. Ask them. This is the time to ask. This is the time to get answers. And this is the time I think people can utilize this. Communication becomes very important. What Harish has been
absolutely.
telling until now. Right, Harish? I hope I didn't
Yep.
divert
No,
from
no,
the right.
you're absolutely right. And in fact, just to point out, if someone is of the sort that, okay, what's in this for me, or why do you want to connect with me, then you have to accept that, okay, maybe you have reached out to the wrong person, just apologize and move away, and don't have anything to do with such a person again, right? I mean,
Right.
it means that you have read wrong and you have to learn from it, that you need to learn to read people right as to who see a mutual interest with you in terms of what you are doing to them, right? In terms of what product you're working on, what service you're working on, where you are in your business, right? Where you are in your market or your industry or in your economy. Based on that, someone else, if they don't see that your interests are overlapping enough to someday create a value or collaborate or just have a fair exchange where they gain something in terms of information and you gain something in information, if that person doesn't see it, then move away. Then you learn from that and get better at identifying people to, hey, hi, I'm so and so. Can I shake your hand? Right? That's what networking is. Only that now, I mean, it's less awkward because you do it online, but just sending a connection request on LinkedIn without even a custom message. And then you say, hi, thanks for connecting. And then you realize, okay, that person realizes he or she works in a certain industry, you worked in that industry. So yeah, that's the intention, right? But
Fantastic.
always try to say hello, right? At least say hello. Uh, don't just connect for the sake of it. Okay, I've got numbers. Yeah, I've got 30,000 followers on LinkedIn. It's worthless,
True.
right? It's like a startup founder hired a marketer, and that marketer initiated a social media marketing effort. And boss, on our first meme, we've got 100,000 likes. The boss goes, great. How much did it cost us? Oh, this advertising, this plan, whatnot. We spent about 25K. Okay, this endorsement, yada yada yada. 25K we spent, 100K likes. All right, great. So how much revenue did we make in sales? How many of those likes were converted into actual transactions, and how much revenue did it lead to? Nothing yet, boss. And then over the next 1 year, they spent a lot more than that initial 25,000. And then 1 year later, the boss is asking, okay, how much have we converted? Still nothing yet, boss. We're still waiting for the first sale.
Oh, God.
Where this is going. So it's the same with networking, right? Don't just add numbers. Say hello. Start conversations, right? Say hi. Tell your story.
Right.
Of late, my habit is, certain people who are similar to my past clients or people I've rubbed shoulders with, I just send them, something that I've more recently done. And I tell them, here's a little glimpse of my story. That's my style, right? And then that starts a conversation, and that helps people keep you in mind and you keep them in mind, right? And that's meaningful because that creates opportunity down the road.
Great. So with this, Harish, I just will, I don't think so. We need to summarize. I think today we almost communicated at same breath, length and breath. So with this, I want to bring it to the end because these are vast topics, right? One is communication, another one is networking. It's something that you can just go on and on and on and on. But okay, I think I should leave
Yeah.
it some tools. You have
Yeah, you can have
you have
4-year degrees in each of these things, right? And
right.
4-year degrees in each of these things, and give out bachelors to people who complete it. So you can't do it in one conversation like this. But I think the best of what needs to be taken note of, we've actually surfaced in this conversation today.
Right.
The
So
basic, the day kind of thing.
I shall try and summarize. I hope I do justice to the entire show because almost every point is very important for us right now. So we must ensure that the communication is very clear. It is properly documented before we proceed to communication. Since you're motivated, just don't go out and keep doing blah blah blah. Just make sure that you have all the points and you talk with relevance to the situation, and you continue to look at internal and external communication, and you're going to be really humble when you communicate and be truthful to your emotions, right? So that's something we covered in under communications. And networking, of course. I think I have given all the points, but I think what tools is very important. It depends entirely on how you want to network. Like we were talking on quality of network and utilizing it to be educated, continue to remain on the leadership. But I think LinkedIn is a great platform. Like Harish said, that's something all of us can try. Look into cross verticals, business connects, or if you have the connect, you haven't initiated a conversation, you go ahead, initiate that conversation. I think that's the beginning of networking, whilst clearing the clutter in your existing network zones, and utilizing your social media. Try and see if you can convert some leads, otherwise Harish's story will come true for everyone. All right,
No,
with
it's
that,
not about likes and people liking you and commenting on your posts online and all that. It's about having a heart-to-heart relationship, right, with every person. Right? Build
right.
relationships, don't build numbers. That's my message.
No, it's absolutely true. So with this, we come to the end of session two or episode two just now, and we will look forward to talking a little more on maybe research and development and teamwork. We are trying to keep it very crisp, and we're trying to make it between 15, 20, 30 minutes, within 30 minutes. But these are very large topics. We are just going to hint you how you can be engaged during this time and how you can maintain your leadership position during, after, and in continuation within your organization. So yeah, wait for more. Thanks, Harish.
Look forward
As
to it. Bye.
always, such a pleasure connecting with you.
Definitely. It's always a pleasure for me. Cheers.
Thank you. You have a great day. Bye bye.